Well, when you notice that your slide is not working correctly, you need to take the bell off the slide, like I just did, and clean off the old gook.
And one of the important things I definitely have to stress here is, where are you actually holding it? And you're holding it in all the right places. Where do you hold it to make sure you don't bend the slide? Because that's a problem often.
Right. When I'm going to clean the bottom tube, I'm going to hold it right here, not here.
So at the bracing.
At the bracing right here. And so when I clean the bottom tube, I'm bracing the bottom tube basically. I'm not going to bend it, and I get rid of it. I wipe off the old cream or dirt or grime or whatever else is in there, oil, like that, and then I flip it over and put my hand down there and do the same thing.
Is there a particular kind of cloth that you use to be able to make sure that you do that with?
Lint-free cloth. This is really just simply an old undershirt that I tore up and use it to clean.
You got it. You got it.
Basically just a nice lint-free cloth, non-abrasive. Something's not going to scratch the slide.
Sure. So yeah, nothing with any writing on it or anything like that, because those are the elements that could scratch the slide, which is important.
Right. And then I like to use trombone teen.
Gotcha.
We sell that. There are different things you can use, but getting away from just oil, which is what we all start with when we're beginners, is probably a good idea. Get into using cream or some kind of a mix. And what I do is I put the cream on this part of the slide here. This is called the stocking of the slide. If you look at the slide carefully, you can see the little indentation.
So we can see.
Yeah, and actually, in theory, if you have a perfect slide and perfect technique, this stocking part, which is a little wider diameter, is really the only part of the slide that really should be in direct contact with the outer slide. I mean, that's not really how it really happens, but this is somebody came up with this idea maybe 100 years ago or so to make this a wider diameter so there'd be less friction throughout the whole slide. So
Gotcha.
it's kind of a clever idea, really. So I put the trombone teen on the stocking of the slide, and stocking of the slides, I should say, and just go like that, and basically just put it on the stocking only. And notice as I'm greasing this tube, I'm holding it here, and then when I do the other tube, I'm going to go like that. Just flip it over, because I want to make sure I'm not stretching the tubes apart.
Sure.
So, and that's pretty much how I grease the slide. And I take some water, a little super slick bottle, or, just plain old water. I suppose if you get really particular, you could use mineral water, or, but I just take water out of the tap and spray the, stocking of the slide.
Those come from artesian wells?
Comes from artesian wells, yeah. Actually Memphis has good water, so, it's great. And that's basically how I do it. And so the slide is working, notice that. It's not grabbing as I go up and down and stuff like that. So that's important, okay? So, and I, since I'm an active player, I'm probably re-greasing my slide, 2-3 times a week.
Okay.
So it's not something you put your grease on, on the slide, and then, at the end of the semester you decide to do it again. I mean.
So let's classify that real quick. Active player meaning you practice how much per week? How many hours a week would you practice?
Ideally, on my own, I should be practicing, I am practicing about 2 hours a day. Okay. In addition to whatever else I do in the symphony, or jobs I play, or rehearsals, or.
So you could touch the trombone every, maybe 5 to 6 hours a day potentially. Oh, yeah. So absolutely. That's an active player. So
that's an active player.
For students that don't play often, let's say maybe they're practicing, once a day, for an hour or so, or just in band class. And how many times do you think they should touch that? That they should touch up the inner slide?
I would go once a week.
Once a week, sure, at least.
Once a week, yeah, sure, okay. Once a week minimum, and then if the slide gets dinged or dented at all. In fact, this one is a little one, I noticed right there. But if you get a little ding in your slide, sure, it's gonna mess it up. Okay, so you have to really treat the slide carefully, and just a little. One of the ways the slides seem to get damaged quite a bit with students is, they're in band class and they take their horn and they're going to go somewhere, and they put their horn on the chair like that and walk away. Sure. Somebody comes by, bumps it, whatever.
Right.
Usually the slide gets dinged by just, you know, not being careful with what you're doing with it. And so, with the horn in general. So the other aspect is cleaning the slide out.
Great. So you know what? I'm going to make that a second video and link this back so everyone can watch both videos separately. Thanks so much, Greg, and we'll see you in the next video.